everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my 2020 Book Awards. Hurrah! 2020, what a year, eh? One that most of us are probably going to want to forget. I started off by being unemployed. My last shift at the bookshop I worked at was January 3rd, so that's how my year started off. And then I had the worst, well, not the worst, one of the worst bouts of bad mental health I've ever had. Basically, I think I've made a video of this already. I was getting chest pains, and then I was worrying about the chest pains, and then I just didn't want to go out of the house, and then lockdown happened. And actually I think lockdown did help in some ways, my health anxiety. I know that sounds like completely contradictory, but my health anxiety was to do with things that were unavoidable, like a chest condition, a heart condition, you know what I mean, man? And now I feel good. Like, Christmas was horrible. Yes, Christmas was horrible. I spent it on my own and at work. Oh yeah, I started a new job as a support worker. That's exciting. I've got something in my eye. I'm just going to carry on like this for a while. What else happened? I don't know. Oh yeah, I released an EP and a single. That's quite exciting. I got played on the radio. That's quite exciting. I'm boring myself, to be honest. So in terms of reading this year, it's just been a bit... nothing really spectacular, to be honest. It's the best year in terms of how many books I've read, but I'd rather have read fewer books and have read better books, because it's just been a bit of a alright, yeah, really, to be honest. Nothing really that I think is going to be my favourite book of all time this year, which is probably asking for a bit much. But you know, something that really stands out and you're like, wow, that was amazing. I didn't really have that this year, which is sad. Let's get into it. So, basically how I do these, I've only done it once before, is I nominate a few books for each category that I have. I can't remember what categories I have now. Worst book, favourite book cover, favourite genre, favourite new author and favourite book. So I'll nominate a few books for each of them. I don't do rankings because I don't heckin' know. And yeah, I'm just going to shut up and I'm just going to get on with it. The first category is worst book. The first nomination is This Is Pleasure by, I can't even remember her fucking name, Mary Gateskill. I got this book because I thought, oh, it could be a bit saucy and interesting, or it could be just kind of like a feminist book. It wasn't that at all. Basically, it victimises men in sexual assault cases, which is despicable, obviously. It's just saying that, like, you know, oh, groping is just a bit of fun, you know, stop being so heckin' dramatic, and I'm like, sexual assault. So yeah, that was terrible. And the next book, oh, this is going to be a bit controversial maybe, is Lady Susan by Jane Austen. I don't get Jane Austen. I don't heckin' get her. Lady Susan is an epistolary novel. I read it for, what did I read it for? I don't know, like the Reading Rush or something, and I just don't care about really rich people getting married. It's just so unrelatable. There's no point in telling you what it's about, because first of all I don't remember, second of all it's just about getting married. All our books are about getting married or being rich. I'm like, I honestly do not care. I do not care about Pride and Prejudice. Oh, she overcomes one. No, he overcomes his pride and marries her, and she overcomes her prejudice. I'm like, so, I don't care. That's boring. So, yeah. I can't even remember who I said won this. Ah, This Is Pleasure. Congratulations, worst book of the year. Disgraceful. Thank you very much. The next category is a favourite book cover. I was thinking, oh, there wasn't anything that stands out for me this year, but actually there are quite a few good ones. Oh dear. I always knock into this. Take a shot for every time I knock into this. So the first one is Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo. Beautiful. The next one is Unicorn by Amru Al-Kadi. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stuff, man. The next one is The Bass Rock. No, The Bass Rock. I can't remember who wrote The Bass Rock, but it's on the cover. It's on the cover. There you go. The Bass Rock. The next one is The Poisonwood Bible by Jeanette Winterson. I bought this just because of the cover. Beautiful. Next is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. Oh, yes. It's very atmospheric, isn't it? It's very atmospheric. And the next one is Bunny by, I can't remember her name either, Mona something or other. I haven't decided to do one this either. Oops. This is going well. wasn't it? I can't remember who I said won this. Let me just decide now. The Bass Rock, there we go, well done, the Bass Rock. The Bass Rock, what was it about? It's about the Bass Rock in Scotland. It's just boring, to be honest. A bit of a boring book. It's atmospheric, yeah, I'll give it that. But what's the plot about? I don't heckin' know. It kind of spans 3 life periods, and it's to do with this house and growing up in this house, and it's just got a nice cover, basically. Next up, favourite genre. Favourite genre, it's just the genre I've read the most of this year, or the one that I've enjoyed the most. For me, it's the one that I've read the most, I think, and enjoyed the most. So, the nominees are, this is a heckin' weird, I know this is a heckin' weird genre. I mean, it's not even, it's like friggin' like 3 heckin' genres mixed into one. It is memoir, autobiography, and fictional memoir. Yeah, I really enjoy my memoirs, my autobiographies, and my fictional memoirs. So what I mean by fictional memoirs is, well, a fictional memoir. Like Black Beauty, it's in the perspective of the horse, but it's a memoir about her life, and I just really like that. I enjoyed that, thought it was cool, you know. The same with I, Cosmo, sick book. Next one's dystopian, of course. This dystopian's got to be there. I've read quite a few this year. It's just one of my favourite genres. Not maybe this year, actually. I've tried to avoid it this year, but still one of my favourites. Next is literary fiction. I've read quite a bit of literary fiction this year. Yeah. That's why it's nominated. And next is children's. I've read a few children's books. These span from like, maybe like age 8 to age 12. So the winner is memoir, autobiography, and fictional memoir. I just heckin' love my memoirs this year. You're going to see in the favourite books nominations like lots of, you know, cool memoirs that I enjoyed this year. Next up is favourite new author. So this is not necessarily authors that I've read a lot by, it's just authors who I think, oh, I'd like to read more of their stuff. Yeah, I do. And the nominees are Bernardine Everest. Oh, hold on. I just realised I said The Poison Wood Bible was by Jeanette Winterson when it was by Barbara Kingsolver. Oops. The next nomination, there's someone there. The next nomination is Barbara Kingsolver. Yeah. The next nomination is Shana Jackson. She wrote High Rise Mystery, and oh my god, I had a great time. And lastly, Thomas Hardy. I finished reading Far From the Madding Crowd. I need to sit up more, but I don't like sitting up. Yeah, Thomas Hardy's alright, isn't he, I guess. Who did I say won this as well? I can't remember. I like all of them, but I think I'd like to read more of Shana Jackson in the future, because High Rise Mystery, I've talked about this a little bit before, I think. It's about these 2 kids who are basically trying to solve a murder investigation, and it's set on a high-rise building in like an estate, a council estate, and I've just never read characters like them before, with such personality, with such vividness, and it just really reminds me of people who I know from home, and it's just lovely, it's just class, it's funny, and yeah, I just had a great time. So that's book 1 in like a series she's doing, so I want to read the second book. Oh, and now we get on to favourite book of the year. So how many do we have here? I think like about 10 or 15 nominations between those. So the first book is Girl, Woman, Other by Akashan. This is the book of multiple perspectives and about lots of different kinds of people, lots of black women, lots of LGBTQIA plus women, and they're all interlinked in some way. I'm fiddling with things. They're all interconnected in some ways, and they've had such different things happen to them. Different things happen to them. Well, I'm really good at explaining things. They've just been through a lot, basically, and it just navigates through their lives, and it is fantastic. And the style is lovely. Next is High Rise Mystery. I've already talked about that, and I can't wait, like I said, to read the second book. Next is Station 11. I read this with Brophy back a whole year ago now, my god, before we knew that like coronavirus was going to be like a pandemic. It's just such a fantastic book. It's about a strain of flu that is pretty damn deadly, like 95% death rate or something, or maybe it's 100%, I can't remember now. And it's just about this post-flu world, and how people navigate through it, what they do to kind of keep sane, and it was just fantastic and I really enjoyed it, and it's really atmospheric as well. Atmosphere is appearing a lot in this video. Next up is Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I love me some Japanese fiction. This is an exceptional Japanese fiction. It's worth lay hype. It's about this cafe and you can go back in time, but you have to be back before the coffee gets cold. And it's just a really interesting concept and it works really well. And I just loved it. I love seeing what the characters would change, and you know I love psychology in books, like trying to find out what these characters are feeling, how they behave. I'm sorry my posture's so bad, man. That's the New Year's resolution, improve my posture. It's just fantastic. I loved it, and I want to read the second book as well. Next is The Battle of Songbirds and Snakes. Oh, is that controversial? So, this is a book that is a prequel to the Hunger Games trilogy. Came out last year, and it's had mixed views, let's say that for example. So it follows Cornelius Fudge. Is it Cornelius Fudge? No, heck, what's his heckin' name? Cornelius something or other, whatever the heckin' president's name is. How he rose to power, I guess. And some people think that this book's pointless and it doesn't add anything to the trilogy, but here's my opinion, folks. My opinion is, why do prequels have to add to the trilogy? If you think prequels have to add to the trilogy, you're already going to be disappointed. I don't think this adds much to the original trilogy, but I don't heckin' care. It's an excellent book in its own right. I don't know why I keep on doing that, it's really annoying. Next up is Far From the Madding Crowd. I can't really remember what this book's about, to be honest. It's by Thomas Hardy, and it was pretty damn good. It's funny. It's really funny. If you have like a stupid sense of humour like I do, then you will be giggling. There's one joke that I remember. I don't want to spoil it because it's so good, and I just loved it. I just loved that joke, and yeah. You'll never know what it is. Next is The Poison Bible by not Jeanette Winterson, but by Barbara Kingsolver. This is set in Congo, I believe. It's about this missionary family who just go over there and try and convert everyone to Christianity. The daddy does, at least anyway, and he's just really annoying, and it just shows just how America should just shut up and not, like, you know, try and convert people to their own religion. It's a really interesting book. I'm making it sound extremely boring. But the family relationships and the relationships they build with the characters in Congo is just fantastic, and I just really enjoyed it. Next is Unicorn! This is an autobiography by a drag queen, a Muslim drag queen, and it's absolutely fantastic. So Glamry, which is her drag name, is just such an interesting person, and their story is just so fascinating. So it's just navigated through a part of drag and part of the queer community that I haven't really thought about before. And I've recently watched Canada's Drag Race as well, and there was a Muslim contestant there, and they were just talking about how difficult it is to come out to, say, their family, and it is so tragic that people do not feel confident enough in themselves because their family would, well, this Canadian drag queen said that their family, he's scared his family would hate him, he's scared his dad would hate him. And that's just so heckin' sad. Like, I just think you should let people be who they want to be. And reading Glamry's story was just really inspiring, and I just hope for the future that things get better for people, and people just heckin' let people do what they want and be who they want. As long as it's not affecting anybody else. If you want to be a serial killer, then yeah, that's bad. But just let people express what they want to express, you know? And this was just fantastic. I would definitely recommend it. Next up is Black Beauty by Anna. The thing is, I'm from Watford and I can't pronounce W's or L's. I can't... L's. By Anna Sewell. This is, like I said, a memoir of a horsey in like the 19th century. I loved it. I fucking loved it, man. It was just so pure, and humans are trash. Just don't be trash, man. Treat animals with heckin' respect. They are your friends. They are not food, although I do... the thing is, I don't buy meat and I don't eat meat, but sometimes I'd have a bit of my partner's meat. Oh God. But yeah, whatever. It was good, it was good. And next, in a similar kind of light, is I, Cosmo, which is a memoir of a dog. Oh, but also both of these are fictional. They cannot speak English. It's just brilliant. It's about this dancing dog, and they just go and perform, and they're just fantastic, and they can dance, and he's an old boy, this Cosmo, but he just wants to keep his family together, and he just wants love. He just wants love for his family. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful story. And they are a golden retriever, and they're one of my favourite doggies in the whole world. So, the winner is, who's it gonna be? It is the Battle of Songbirds and Snakes. Who would have thought that was coming, eh? I just loved it. I just loved it. You know how I feel about psychology? It just did such a good job. It was fantastic, and I listened to it in an audiobook, and I just loved it, man. I don't know how many times I've got to say I loved it. 5 stars, brilliant. I would say I enjoyed it far more than Catching Fire and Mockingjay. I loved the story. I loved the plot. Some people thought it dragged out a bit. I thought it was great. I thought every single detail needed to be there. It was fabulous. Okay, I've only got 20 seconds left before my camera dies, so there we go, 2020. Let me know what you read and enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Here's to 2021. I'll see you in my next video.